Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome back. Now, over the weekend, there was some news that did break regarding Power Rangers, and the future of Power Rangers. People having concerns about what's going to happen from this point on. Now, recently, I believe within the last couple days, there was news that they had just recently let go. I believe one of the writers. I'm not too familiar with her. I forget her name. I'm sure her name is in this article. I believe her name is Melissa something or other. But there was also this clip that was put out there by some of the other Ranger media outlets like No Pink Spandex and a couple others, where they were showing a clip of a panel that Austin St. John did at GalaxyCon, I believe last month in Louisville. And it gave people more cause for concern as to the management, I guess, behind Power Rangers and what's happening over there with Hasbro. So this is an article from Den of Geek by Seamus Kelly, who, as you know, I did a brief little kind of interview thing with him some years ago, just kind of in fun, in kind of passing, and he wrote this for Den of Geek. But let's go over it here real quick. Key Power Rangers executives are transitioning out. Now, I'll go ahead and link this in the description below, as I always do, if you all want to go ahead and read it for yourselves. I might go through the whole article, might go through just some of it, but either way, I'm just going to give some thoughts here. Slowly but surely, key creative talents on Power Rangers brand have been leaving the franchise. Okay, things are changing in the world of Power Rangers. When the franchise was sold by Saban Brands to Hasbro in 2018, it was expected change was coming, but it took until 2019 to really start to see the effects of the sale. First up, in March 2019, Jason Bischoff, the global franchise director of Power Rangers, who had been with the franchise for 3 years, was let go. In July, Brian I guess that's Casantini. I know I'm probably butchering the last name there, but Senior Vice President of Power Rangers franchise development and production for AllSpark Pictures and executive producer on Power Rangers Beast Morphers and Super Ninja Steel, left the franchise after being with it for 10 years. Now, I'm not familiar with this person. I am familiar with Jason Bischoff. I know of him. Of course, I don't know him, but I do know that he worked with the Power Rangers franchise for several years. But let's continue on here. At the time, he stated in an interview with comicbook.com that he departed to pursue a number of projects he wanted to work on for a very long time, but in reference to Power Rangers brand, there is a very smooth transition plan that will be announced soon, and the future of Power Rangers is extremely bright. So I guess when this gentleman right here, this Brian Casantini, I guess when he left, I guess everything was seemingly at least on good terms. There seems to be no bad blood, so that's good. There's been no official word on what that smooth transition would be, but in early January 2020, we learned that TV series would be getting a new executive producer, Simon Bennett, director of various Ninja Steel and Beast Morphers episodes. At the time, we didn't know what that meant for current executive producer Chip Lynn and what his role would be in the franchise after the second season of Power Rangers Beast Morphers. Lynn has been with the series for years, working on the original 9 seasons, 1993 to 2001, before returning as executive producer for the second half of RPM 2009. And then taking over as executive producer once again with Dino Charge through Beast Morphers, 2015 to present. Now, thanks to Austin St. John, Jason from the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, we learned that Chip Lynn is getting ready to leave the franchise as well. On a panel at GalaxyCon Louisville in December 2019, which I'll go ahead and also link that video in the description below if you guys want to see that panel. Pretty good panel, I would say, for the most part. Well, most of it that I watched anyways. I didn't get a chance to finish it, but it's only like an hour long. But getting back to this, on a panel at GalaxyCon Louisville in December 2019, the actor spoke about why he chose to return for Power Rangers Beast Morphers after years of turning down requests to make a guest appearance on the series. During that story, he let slip where Chip Lynn is heading in terms of Power Rangers. And they linked the No Pink Spandex clip of that there. So, or in the link, I should say. And this is the quote from the actual video. What got me back this year after 18 years of telling them no was normally they would have their casting agents and my people would email, and I was like, nope, not a chance. Well, 2 weeks later, I get a phone call from the executive producer, which, he doesn't say Chip Lynn, but obviously Chip Lynn. And it turns out that the executive producer was a guy who started and was working on the show with me 25 years ago, so I knew him personally. And he calls me up and he goes, look, I know you're always saying no. And he says, I'm getting ready to leave. like, I'm done. This is my last hurrah. And now he's phasing out. So I'll give some thoughts on that in just a moment. Let me just go ahead and finish this article here. The phrase phasing out seems to line up with the smooth transition Casentini spoke of in his interview. Now, excuse me, from now we don't know what role Lynn will have in future seasons of the franchise, but it seems as if it will be in a smaller capacity than what he's been doing for the past 6 years. The news also came to light at the same time. Melissa Flores, so that's who I mentioned earlier, she's director of storytelling for the Power Rangers brand, announced on Monday that her time on the franchise had come to an end. Like Casentini, she had worked with the franchise for 10 years, starting as a development and production coordinator for the brand before rising in the ranks. Could Flores' departure be part of the smooth transition Casentini talked about? We aren't sure. It very well could be. Flores left of her own accord, thanks to another job opportunity. Still, that means 3 major players in the Power Rangers franchise who worked at Saban brands have left or been let go by Hasbro. The only major player from the Saban days still left at the company is Paul Strickland, who's been with the franchise since 2014. Saban and Hasbro, it should be noted, his job title previously, per his LinkedIn, was Development and Production Power Rangers before September 2019. Now simply Assistant Brand Manager, Global Brand Development and Marketing. Perhaps Strickland has moved away from the Power Rangers brand. So we'll go ahead and close it out here. Whatever the case, it looks to be that the smooth transition has slowly but surely happened, and Hasbro is letting the old Saban team go. This may be to make room for a whole group to take over, and now it looks like a whole new era of Power Rangers franchise is coming with a new movie on the way. It may be one of the biggest changes yet. Okay, so just some thoughts on this. Not surprising. I think first off is what I would say. New company, eventually they're going to get their people in there, right? There's going to be moving parts. I mean, they might keep some of the old people around for a little bit, but this is not that unusual. Now, as far as whether or not this is something that will negatively impact the brand going forward, it's certainly a possibility. We can't deny that it could negatively impact them. Or this could have always been what was on the table right from the very beginning. When they decided to take these people on, it was more probably with the knowledge of like, hey, listen, we're eventually going to bring our own people in, and we want you to get them ready so that things can kind of transition over smoothly, and you could kind of show them the ropes as far as Power Rangers go, how to handle the franchise, what are the do's and don'ts, things like that. So it's not that unusual that something like this would happen, and for the most part, it doesn't seem like anybody that has left or has been let go, I don't know, I haven't seen any of them say anything bad publicly yet. I'm not saying that things are rough, but we also don't know, like I said, if this was just something that was determined from the very beginning when Hasbro acquired all this from Saban, right? This could have been part of it. Like, hey, we'll keep you on for X amount of time, but eventually, we plan to bring in our own people to do this. Now, that could also be a good thing. Who knows? The franchise might get better in time. It's really hard to say. I could understand people's concerns seeing this like, hey, well, these are people that are familiar with working on this, and these are people that, in some people's view that are probably more in the know, look at this and say they've done a great job with it. Why not just keep them on? I mean, that's the nature of the game, right? In entertainment, stuff like this seems to happen quite often. So it's hard to say right now whether or not it's going to be something that will negatively impact the franchise. I guess we'll have to see once they're all completely gone. If things just go to hell in a handbasket, then there you go. Then you'll have your answer. But I don't think anybody should get ahead of themselves. I can understand why people might be upset and might be concerned over this, but there's no way of knowing, at least not at this point in time. I mean, everything that people are concerned about will truly be reflected in things like the ratings and the toy sales and things like that moving forward, and how people critique the shows going forward. So I don't know. To me, I really, like I said, I'm kind of on the fence in the sense that I understand why people would be concerned over this, because who knows who's going to be taking over, right? And where they're going to take the direction of the franchise. But I don't know. I mean, there's just so many unknowns right now. So I guess we'll wait and see. I mean, I think there's a little bit of a testament to the fact that there's going to be some middle ground that'll be reached, I think, right? With certain actors that might have not come back to the franchise prior to. I mean, look, they were able to convince Austin to come back after so many years of him refusing to go back to the show. Who knows? Maybe they could eventually bring back somebody like, I don't know, like David Yost, who has publicly said that he had no interest in ever going back, at least when it was under Saban Brands. So who knows if his mind has changed, right? At this point, now that it's in somebody else's hands, and maybe there's the possibility of seeing somebody like him be back in a future, I don't know, either reunion episode or some kind of anniversary or team up episode. Who knows? I think the possibilities are endless, really, now that somebody else has control of the franchise. All these people that supposedly might have had burnt bridges with the company, you know, they might get a whole entirely clean slate, I guess you could say, with Hasbro now, right? For people that have wanted to see some of these characters that they were hoping to see in other episodes or maybe future episodes that were in past seasons. Any of those people that might have had, like I said, bad blood with Saban Brands, obviously I don't think that's going to carry over now that Hasbro has it. So, you know, it's hard to know. Like I said, everything, there's just so many variables involved in this. So again, it's one of those instances where I've said it before, only time will tell. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What do you think of this news? Do you think that this is the beginning of the end for Power Rangers, which I think is a little bit too extreme at this point to say something like that? But who knows? Maybe this is the planting of those seeds, right? So let me know in the comment section below. Do you think Power Rangers is going to be all right? And y'all know how it goes. Until next time, the hunt continues. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a like, share, and comment below.